In this video, we'll be learning how to play Wild Guess. This game is super fast-paced and super fun, and was also kind enough to sponsor the channel, so thank you to Wild Guess for sponsoring this video. Let's get started with the tutorial. To set up the game, first take all the cards out and remove the 4 block cards from the rest of the cards. Then, give 1 block card to each player playing. We'll come back to these later in the tutorial. When you get a block card, simply place it face down in front of you like so. Then, if there are any extra block cards, you simply put them to the side. Then, shuffle the deck and deal 15 cards to each player. If there are any remaining cards, simply put them to the side. They'll not be used. These piles become the player's guess piles. Whenever they receive their cards, they will simply neatly stack them and then memorize the bottom card of their guess pile. You'll want to remember the color of the card and what the suit is. Then, simply place the guess pile down in front of you like so, and place your block card above it. Then, the player to the left of the dealer goes first. If it's a 2-player game, then the player who was not the dealer goes first. The goal of Wild Guess is to be the first player to get rid of all of the cards in their guess pile and their pass pile. To play the game, you simply need to guess whatever is on top of your guess pile. This guess is based on the top card of your pass pile, which will be formed to the right of your guess pile. Of course, when you first begin play, there will be no cards in your pass pile, so by default you'll guess color. Let's say that this player is going first. They must guess a color of the card on the top of their pile. That color will either be red or black, corresponding to the 2 colors that you'll find in a regular deck of 52 cards. Let's say they guess black, and they flip the top card, and we reveal that this is not a black card. When this happens, this player simply puts this card into their pass pile and ends their turn. It is now player 2's turn, and since they also have no cards in their pass pile, they simply guess a color, either red or black. Let's say they guess black, and they flip up the top card. What do you know? That was a correct guess. Since this player guessed correctly, they can pass this card and up to 4 total cards from their pass pile to the next player. In this case, this player only has 1 card in their pass pile, so they'll simply pass the 1 card to player 3. It is now player 3's turn, and notably, they have a card in their pass pile. Whenever you have a card in your pass pile, your guess has to correspond with whatever word is on top of the top card of your pass pile. Since they were passed a suit card, they now have to guess a suit, not a color. The 4 suits are the ones that correspond with a regular deck of 52 cards, those being hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds. You must guess one of those 4. So let's say player 3 guesses hearts, and they flip the top card of their library, and what do you know? They were right. They may now pass up to 3 cards from their pass pile to player 1. But notably, player 1 has a block card in front of them that allows them to block hearts. If your block card has one of the 2 suits corresponding to the top card that the player next to you is passing to you, you can put these cards face down in the center of the table. This is the discard pile, and if you ever block cards, they will all go face down in the center of the table. The cards in the discard will never be used for the rest of the game. They are simply gone. Blocking is automatic. If one of the 2 suits that you have on your block card is being passed to you, those cards are automatically put in the middle. It is probably a good idea to remind your opponents that you have the block for that certain suit. This can either be done by putting a hand out in front of them or saying block. It is now player 1's turn again, and they do have a card in their pass pile. So, player 1 needs to guess corresponding to the word on top of the top card of their pass pile. Let's say that player guesses black. They'll flip up the top card of their library, and what do you know? They were right. And notably, this is a wild card. Wild cards are special because not only can you pass up to this many cards from your pass pile to the next player, you can actually pass this to any player, and it cannot be blocked by a block card. So let's say I want to get some petty revenge. This player tried to pass me a bunch of cards, and I want to give them some cards back in revenge. Even though they have a spade block, I can give them these cards from my pass pile. Wild cards are especially valuable in this game because they cannot be blocked and can be given to anyone. It is now player 2's turn, and this is the basic gameplay loop. Play continues from here until somebody gets rid of all of the cards from their guess pile and their pass pile. One last thing, if the game has been going on for a while and you only have 1 more card in your guess pile, if you flip that card and you're not correct, you're still in the game. All you have to do is take the cards from your pass pile, flip them over, and do not shuffle, and put them into your guess pile. You now have a remade guess pile and continue play from here. I also want to make emphasis that this game is very fast paced. You only have 2 seconds to make any of your guesses. If you take too long to make your guess, or you make an invalid guess, say you guess a suit whenever your top card says color, the other players can vote to have your turn skipped. All you'll do is flip the top card of your guess pile and lose your turn. You need to make very fast guesses. This game is meant to be very fast paced. The first player to get rid of all of the cards in their pass pile and their guess pile wins the game. And that's how you play Wild Guess. Thank you Wild Guess again for sponsoring this video. I've played this game quite a bit ever since they sent it to me, and I've really enjoyed it with everyone that I've played with. It's very fast paced, it's very fun, and very, very chaotic, and that's what I love about card games. If you'd like to get the game for yourself, I'll leave a link at the top of the description, and thank you again to Wild Guess for sponsoring this video.